We talk about cybersecurity nearly every day here on Tech Republic and the need for more experts in this field. We're talking today with Mark Davis, the managing director of Full Stack Cyber Bootcamp in New York City. Mark, thanks for being with us. This is obviously a huge problem. We need more people skilled in cybersecurity. So tell us about your specialized bootcamp and how specifically you're working with the city in New York.
Sure. So first of all, thank you for having me on. New York City has created a project called Cyber NYC, which is basically it's $100 million public-private investment where they're essentially trying to turn New York City into like the Silicon Valley of cybersecurity. And part of that project is they want to create 10,000 new cybersecurity related jobs here in New York City. And so part of that project is they need to train 10,000 New Yorkers. And so that's where we came in. They invested in us to build the official cybersecurity bootcamp for New York City, which is Full Stack Cyber Bootcamp, which opened earlier this year.
So, Mark, talk a little bit about the need, the supply and the demand when it comes to experts in cybersecurity.
Well, I guess the headline is it's pretty bad out there, right? I mean, we read it in the news every day, another huge hack or data breach. And sadly, I think the truth is that there's a war. I don't want to be alarmist, right? But there's a war being waged in cyberspace, and it started already, right? So if you look at historically the sort of four domains of warfare: land, sea, air, and space. Now the U.S. government has designated cyberspace as the fifth domain of warfare, and it's an active one, right? So if you look at globally what's happening, cybercrime will cost the world $6 trillion annually. And so companies and governments are struggling to keep pace with the rise in cybercrime. And so they're trying to hire technical cyber people, but there's a critical shortage of them, right? So if you look at the numbers, right now, there's 3 million open jobs in cybersecurity worldwide. So that's a big number already. I don't know of any other industries that have that many open jobs. Maybe there are, I just don't know of it. So it's a big number now, but it's growing quickly. So in 2 years, that number will be 3.5 million open cybersecurity jobs. So there really is a critical cyber talent shortage.
And when you talk about, the need there and the people that are coming in to take these classes, to go through the boot camp, what are the kind of skills you see that the people that are successful in cybersecurity, what do they need to have in terms of a skill set?
Well, our boot camp, the basic premise is that you go from beginner level with no previous technical experience or capabilities to a well-rounded security analyst with 750 hours of immersive hands-on training. So there's no specific skills that you need. You do need to like solving puzzles, right? That's a kind of a piece of this. You need to be able to think through math brain teasers. If you can do those sorts of things, then that lends itself to success in this field. But it really does just come down to putting the hours in, learning the skills so that you're hireable as a security practitioner.
Okay, and talk about the actual hands-on. You were telling me earlier off camera about the actual hands-on program where people can try to hack into New York City.
Yeah, right. So there's a couple things there. So in terms of the curriculum, we're teaching what we call red team and blue team. So offense and defense. So offense is ethical hacking, essentially, and defense is how to defend against the attacks. Now, if you look at the numbers, about 85% of the jobs are on the blue team, which makes sense, right? Defending systems, defending companies. But the reason we teach red team is because it's developing something called the security mindset, which is if you know how to attack, you'll be a better defender. And so we're teaching our students how to attack on all sorts of different platforms with different tools and different processes. And one of the areas that we as a city in New York City, here in New York City, need to protect is what we call industrial control systems, ICS. And so these are the little tiny computers, they're called PLCs, programmable logic controllers, that power a lot of industrial controls. So nuclear power plants, the power grid, water supply, those sorts of things. So those systems are vulnerable to attack. And so New York City needs to protect those systems. And so what we've done is we've built something for our students to use. We call it Hack NYC, which is basically, think of it, it's like a tabletop model of New York City with lots of flashing lights and activity going on. And you as a student try and hack into different things. So you'll see a train going around Hack NYC, and they'll try and hack into the train. You'll try and hack into a public Wi-Fi hotspot. You'll try and steal data off of a Wi-Fi hotspot. You'll try and shut off the power grid, right? And so we describe it as a kinetic hacking platform that students can use to learn how these attacks happen, how the bad guys do these attacks, so that we can, better defend against them.
All right, and Mark, to close out here, just again, you guys are hoping to build a program to make New York City, as you said, the Silicon Valley of cybersecurity.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it really comes down to we need more white hats. In industry jargon, we don't say good guys and bad guys. We say white hats and black hats, right? And I think the truth is the black hats are winning, and we need more white hats. So for us at Full Stack Cyber Bootcamp and working with New York City, there's really 4 things we need to do. First of all, we need to drive awareness, right? Like this conversation here, we need to let people know what's going on and what the vulnerabilities are. And based on that, we need to inspire them to say, oh, hey, maybe I want to help. I want to get on the battlefield, for lack of a better word. I want to be a white hat. And once they've made that decision, then they need to do the training. And there's different ways to do the technical training. You can do a 4-year undergrad degree, you could do a 2-year master's degree, or you could go to a boot camp like Full Stack Cyber Bootcamp. And then you need to get hired by local employer, whether that's government or industry. But those are sort of the main steps in terms of going from beginner to hired security practitioner.
All right, Mark Davis, we appreciate you being with us here today. And when it comes to the state of cybersecurity, we've got you covered on Tech Republic. Thanks for watching.